All right, let's see what we got today. Oh, yeah. Let's see what we got today. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to get in, but look, you see the title. We're talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. She's dominating the rest of the field and how she's becoming more and more valuable. We're going to use her Instagram to show this, but let's go ahead right now and we're going to show you how you can become more valuable too. And again, I'm going to emphasize about how I see Melissa Jefferson as far as the U.S. women right now as the biggest threat to Sha'Carri Richardson in the future. I mean, they're in the same camp, so it kind of makes sense. It's kind of like a Johan Blake, Usain Bolt thing and everything like that. They're getting trained in the same camp, so it only makes sense, right? It only makes sense. Yeah, their abilities may be much different, and Johan could just beat Usain only at the Jamaican trials, but hey, he still got some wins on him. So let's see. We're gonna go here. We're going to show her as I am waiting for everybody else to come in. Let's go ahead right here. Watch, they hit me with the copyright. But anyway, it's commentary. Fair use. Okay, Jefferson gets out pretty good. Sha'Carri's coming up. And she's like a slingshot. Like I said the other day, she is like a freaking slingshot. Okay? She is the world's fastest woman. And for the people that don't know, because there are always new people that come here, world's fastest man and world's fastest woman goes to the champion, the previous champion of that championships. So, oh, and by the way, I heard, people, I think it was Kara Goucher first. And then I noticed, I was like, man, the black people saying championships. And then the white announcers are saying championships. How do y'all pronounce that? Do you say championships, like how it's spelled? Or do you say championships, like, chips that you eat or chips that you play? Because I know there are some people from Britain and chips mean something different. So anyway, here we go. Let's look at this again. Sha'Carri literally goes backwards like a slingshot. And then she goes forward. Now, this start wasn't as bad as her semi-start. That semi-start, that was atrocious. But this one, she actually did pretty well. She's in 10-6 shape. She's dominating. Right? Oh, yeah. Let me make sure. Hey, guys, can you guys hear me? I can hear myself, but I always do a sound check with everybody, just in case. Let's go ahead. Make sure that you guys can hear me just in case. Oh, dang. I put the wrong title here. Man, y'all, I'm using the wrong stuff. Let me correct something real quick and change the image, because I got a thing mo on here. I got a thing mo, and I don't know why I use that image at all. That is supposed to be a different image. Oh, well, it happens. We're here live. This gives people a chance to come up. But yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson, she's dominating people, and there's always going to be somebody, talking. There's always somebody there trying to tear down another person and saying, hey, there's something here. Now, I will say with Shericka Jackson, I think that Jackson has a chance of getting Sha'Carri if that weight issue can be balanced a little bit better. You guys get what I'm saying? If that weight issue could be balanced a little bit better, I believe that she can get her. But this is the title that you're supposed to be seeing. Sha'Carri Richardson is untouchable right now. And right now, I can't see nobody else. We're going to have to see until after the Jamaican trials and everything like that. Then I'll give my assessment. But for right now, because we know people will be coming back to this video after the Olympics to say, well, see, you were wrong. Right now, at this time, June 26th. This is where my statement is. Once we see everybody else, we see like a Diamond League, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do a race or two in between now and then. I'm going to give my updated assessment, but right now, Sha'Carri is untouchable. Nobody can beat her right now. The only way she gets beaten is if she defeats herself. That's it. That's the only way that she gets beaten, if she defeats herself. Now, let's look at Melissa Jefferson in this race, because she's the biggest, at least at the current moment this year, she is the biggest opponent that Sha'Carri Richardson has. And I mean, she did finished second to her. But this is where I am right now. Okay, my rabbit's going crazy on some forks and everything. But, all right. Okay, Jefferson had an okay start right here. She's powering through. You could tell they're in the same camp. The form is looking pretty good. She started to look like she was falling apart just ever so slightly. She's anticipating the finish line, but she ran pretty decent, mechanically sound. Nothing in particular standing out to me, but because she's running like a well-oiled machine, other female athletes do not look like well-oiled machines. TT Terry looks like a truck coming down. Look at her powering through on the far outside lane. She looks like a truck when she's running. So she's powering through, has the power run. And when she comes through, okay, cool. She's trucking it through, and that made her through to make the team. And I'm so happy for TT Terry to make it. But as far as Melissa Jefferson, she's like a well-oiled machine. She's coming through, pretty even kill. And that in itself right there, I'm telling y'all, to me, that's a sign that if she gets a bit more speed and a combination of Sha'Carri not being right there all the way, because she has inconsistent starts right now. If Sha'Carri gets consistent starts, it's over. Consistently okay to good starts, it's over. Nobody's going to be able to touch her until she starts to slow down and go to the twilight of her career. But as it stands right now, Sha'Carri has inconsistent starts. Melissa Jefferson is pretty decent when it comes down to how she is running. Very even, very good, mechanically sound. It's going to be hard to beat her. Now, Melissa Jefferson still has some things to work on, of course, but there you go. Now, what do you guys think about that? As far as that so far, whether you're on the live or the recording, or after the recording, let me know what you guys think about that one. They said we don't want to hear nothing about Shelly Ann. Okay, I'm in Raw Freedom. Man, calm your ass down. You come up on this channel all the time saying some of the weirdest stuff sometimes. And I give it a pass, but you say some of the weirdest things. I didn't even bring up Shelly Ann's name. Shelly Ann is living rent-free on your mind. I'm talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. I'm focusing on the U.S. and I said a quick mention of Shericka Jackson because that's going to be the biggest challenge out of Jamaica from what I see so far. There's going to be a couple of sleepers that Francis is working with, especially on the men's side. I'll talk about that on another video. But, man, calm down. Calm down. Go in your high chair, take your binky, and just take a break. All right? Just calm down. Because you say some of the weirdest stuff. I know you're a big Sha'Carri Richardson fan, but come on, calm down. But anyway, now, remember we looked at Shericka Jackson yesterday, right? We looked at Shericka Jackson's page yesterday, and matter of fact, give me just a second. I'm going to bring this up on the screen and show you the difference. Because remember, I said this is how our value's going up and how this is going to work for you as well. So I did not come empty-handed. I came literally here, and let's compare the two. We're not going to compare the size of their followers. That's irrelevant. What we are going to do is compare how they are marketing each other. Now, Sha'Carri Richardson's brand, I remember, what was it, 1.3 or 1.3 million the last time I remember. So this has been a few years, obviously. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me get my rabbit because she is just making a mess. All right, I am back. My rabbit likes to do stuff during the stream, sometimes inconsistently. Anyway, so Sha'Carri Richardson, notice the first difference here. Her value's going up. She doesn't have to tell you who she's sponsored by at all. The importance is her, not the sponsors. That's the biggest difference. This is what I want you guys to remember when it comes to your personal life and when it comes to businesses. See, you can do a brand partnership, kind of like how it looks like Sharika Jackson is. She's kind of behind the sponsors, or the sponsors are ahead of her or with her. You see under her name, then it tells you all of where the sponsors are. Okay? So it's telling you right there on the page. She is telling you, hey, I'm sponsored by this person, these groups, this company, that. Now, maybe because the deal is big enough, that's how it is, right? Maybe with Sha'Carri, it ain't like that. She's not saying I'm a trike athlete. I'm not sponsored by Spriddle, right? I ain't gonna say their names. They ain't paying me, even though it's on the screen. So she's not saying who she's sponsored by at all on the page. She gets to do it in the ads that she's doing. She shows the logos and the drinks and everything like that. That's what you want to do when it comes down to business and your own personal brand too. Okay, you said Sharika Jackson's 1065 was fake. All right. This is the equivalent to how many Jamaicans and other people were saying that the U.S. Women couldn't reproduce their times, and I shut them down back in 2021. All right. They were like, couldn't reproduce. It's like, it's easy to say that when you are talking from like perspectives that people are giving you, because I saw where they were getting the talking points from. There were like two people they got the talking points from, plus many people came on their own. It was Jamaica, it was Kenya, it was Britain. It was all people just getting on the USA women, and I'm like, yeah, that's not even accurate. I proved them wrong just by the times themselves. Okay, hold up. Okay, this rabbit going crazy. So when it comes down to Sha'Carri Richardson, how is she increasing her value? Well, she gets the wins, they get the views. When she's on her own personal Twitter page, she's talking about a host of different topics, although they're mainly with track and field, mainly talking about those issues. Sometimes she talks about Black American issues and everything like that. Sometimes talking about racism. That's what she does on her personal page. Remember, yesterday I educated you all about how you could talk about different things, because if you do more than one thing at once, then you're able to build up an actual brand of you, not a brand of them. She's above the sport, right? As they were saying, hey, she's this juggernaut. She's this powerhouse of track and field. That's what you want to do. Let me make sure this page is showing. Yes, that's what you want to do. So let's look at here. Let's look at different places of where this is going to be the midpoint. I think I'm going to do business in the middle, and then toward the end get back to sports. So sports, business, sports. So let's get here. I know this bores some people, so if you want to leave, go ahead. But for everybody else, that's what we're going to do. So when it comes down here, how can you make some money right here? Because at the end of the day, inflation's going up. All this stuff is going up. Let's make this here entertainment, but also very educational for everybody. So when it comes down to health and fitness, let's keep it with where Sha'Carri is. And remember, she's the person that is the stand-in for you. Okay? She's the person that's the stand-in for you. All right? So I get for the people that just want to hear the sports stuff, I always talk about that in the beginning of my videos and give them what they're looking for. Everybody else, they stay toward the end. That's the way I'm going to go now. So when we're looking at health and fitness, this is the club industry market size. They said it was just over $100 billion in 2022. All right. They're projecting it to double in size by 2030. We don't need to look about that right now. We're just going to look at $100 billion. That is the club health and club fitness club market. So those are like the Planet Fitness. Oh, dang. I start naming out names. LA Fitness and all of those. The mom and pop shops there. The CrossFit type of things where everybody's going into the gym and they're signing up. They're having different types of clubs and classes, and they're signing up. Some people go to parks and everything like that. I'm not sure, based on what I looked at, were they including those? It did not look like they were including them. They were talking about like swimming pools and the equipment and everything like that, as you can see here. So you got amenities, swimming pools, fitness, steam rooms, physical therapy, group sports, and healthy snack bars. If you were representing one of these healthy snack bar companies, you could be having your page like a Sha'Carri Richardson. You're starting to build up a personality around, you know, health and fitness. Health and fitness, not just health, not just fitness, but health and fitness. If you were to amass that, and obviously she got 3.1 million. Let's use that for example, because this is about the USA women, Sha'Carri, instead of just Sharika. Now, if you were to do it Sharika's way, you're putting the onus on the health company. Let's call it Health Bar. Okay, what if the name of the company was called Health Bar? Okay, you got Health Bar right here. What if you two have a falling out, or you want to change the company in which you want to work with? If you got Health Bar here, like how some people got Nike, Puma, and all of that on their front page, now it becomes a little bit awkward and jittery. But what if you did it like Sha'Carri, where you don't mention any of them? They're coming to see you, because there's going to be a couple of people that got inspired. Oh, here's a Nike athlete. Here's a Puma athlete. We're going to come and see that one. But if you put the emphasis on you and your brand and your company, what you could do is say, hey, I'm talking about health and fitness. This is how I do it. And my partners, check out my website page, drop them a link, go on my newsletter, drop them a link, have them sign up to that. And now they're already pre-sold on what you are delivering. Okay, that's how you build up your brand. That's how you build it up to you. You want them to come to you, because it doesn't matter what the company would be called at that point. It could be called Unhealth Brand. It could be called Health Brand. It could be a Snickers bar. And some people will look at you funny, but then they're like, hey, look, this is the Snickers protein bar. Not the regular one, but the protein thing that they tried. I don't know if they're still doing it, but those things were nasty. So that's what you can do compared when you don't list a sponsor on your page. They got to come and find it. You can direct them to where to go, and you control the flow. Because what if the company wants to ban you? Now you built up your brand around Puma, around Nike, around the health bar, and then you had a falling out or something, or they ban you in the case of a personal person. And then now you got to scramble and, you know, rebuild some of your branding like that. Because with an athlete, it's a little bit easier because we see them as a separate thing from their sponsors. But from a person standpoint, you might have built up your whole brand like those multi-level marketers. They build up, what if you got a multi-level marketing health one here? Let's go to the fitness industry in general. All right, now we went from health to fitness to still health and fitness, but it's not the clubs. So here is another $87 billion. So we're almost at $200 billion between that, and it's supposedly growing by 3 to 4% annually. So this is just general health and fitness. This includes fitness studios, like what we were talking about before, the franchises, online fitness classes. That's something that people can do from their own home. And remember, we're not just on fitness in general. All right. Take these athletes. I'm using something simple and easy to connect to them. But this could be anything. This could be avocados, right? But you want to pick a market that's already huge. You don't want to pick something small. You want to pick something huge. And I'm about to show you with a whiteboard in just a second here. But we got almost 200 billion. Final thing we're going to look at before I start writing this out is just the healthcare industry revenue. So it was 1.27 trillion in the US. This is healthcare. So this is different. You got health and fitness, clubs, right? You got health and fitness generally, and now you got health care, which is very similar. Then you could just do something else like mental health, self-care. That's what I was thinking of right there. Self-care, mental health, and you could do things that are subsections or very similar. You see how you could do that? Your main industry is health and fitness, but then you could kind of go into these other ones because of that. This is another huge one. So it says provider, pharma, the pharma industry, 170 billion. The providers, you might be able to sell like those insurance companies and everything like that, and so on and so forth. Okay, they got different ones. The people that pay for it at a hospital, you're not going to be able to get that. The technology, you may be able to get that, but maybe not because of your page. The healthcare IT depends. Especially they get hacked all the time and get ransomed. You could do that. And then the distribution and pharmacies, probably not that unless you partner. Let's say CVS Pharmacy or Walgreens or something wants to sponsor you on your page because you're always talking about health and fitness, but occasionally you talk about, you know, medications that people might take or something like that. They may be able to sponsor you, so that other $20 billion right there will be good for you. So the healthcare industry was worth about $808 billion in 2021 in the US. Fantastic, fantastic. So let's look right here. And if anybody has any questions, let's go here. Again, this could be a way that you are building yourself up. So let's say that you are starting right here at 0. We're going to bring our handy dandy chart. We're going to put it in red. This is time. This is money. And then we're going to do another chart right here. This is time. And these are followers. All right. Want to make sure this is fast. So many people are trying to do essentially this, but it's easier for you to go like that instead. It's easier for you to do that instead. Just like it's going to be easier for you to make a lot of money in a short amount of time compared to a little bit of money over a long period of time. It's easier to make $100,000 in 1 year compared to $100,000 in 10 years. It's easier to make $100,000 in 1 month compared to $100,000 in 1 year. It's just the skill set for you to figure out how to do that. That's all it is. It's the skill set for you to figure out how to do that in general. But once you figure out how to do it, then it's kind of like a formula. So let's look at it right here. If you're trying to get your followers up, if you're building your followers around you, we're going to put this in green. If you build your followers around you and you're here, this is what's going to happen. These followers right here are with you no matter what. And then these upper ones, they may go and come and go and come and whatnot. But those are the ones that are going to be with you by your no matter what. If you instead build your followers based on the brand that you're representing, again, it's going to be here are the ones that are with you no matter what. But it's going to be even a smaller amount of people that are staying with you. It should be closer like this, actually. Let's erase this. So it should be like that. See, the people that are with you, they're going to be with you almost no matter what you represent. So when you build up your followers, this is how you do it. Let's take Sha'Carri right here. Let's say that she wanted to start pushing some health and fitness related things outside of that. Because that wouldn't even, actually, that would make sense being an athlete. Okay. On some of these posts right here, let's click on this one. She might have this, and then there's the protein drink or whatever, right? Or the fruit drink, protein, health related thing. It's already right there. Let's say that she's doing that on a regular post. She may have a slide that's a secondary picture instead of us going to this one. She may have a slide that's a secondary picture and 5 of them a carousel. She shows one, another one of her drinking it, a third one of doing something else, and then a fourth one she has a phrase or a saying that has, hey, go ahead and shoot your shot, just like this. It actually makes sense. That's a one-shot thing. So, hey, shoot your shot, and remember always to come through with energy. Something like that. I just made that up. That was horrible, but you guys get what I'm saying. If she's going to build herself up based on health and fitness in general, she starts talking about that. She might say, hey, here's the story of my life. Like this interview that she did with Cardi B. Shout out to Sha'Carri, as I used to call her. So we're going to call her Sha'Carri B again. But if she does this interview, imagine she starts to randomly in the middle of that interview and say, hey, look, hey, what's your fitness routine? How do you do this thing and whatnot? Even though she may have got work on her body, she might just start throwing that stuff in there, and it's all subtle. It's in between everything that she's doing versus it's going to be one ad here, another ad there, because this is an ad there. Does it work as much as they would have liked? Who knows? But it's part of her. So if you start throwing those in there, here and there and there, because she's sponsored by them, so this makes sense. But if you're doing it for yourself, you start throwing in, hey, I got these headphones on. Man, I love the way these things, when I'm over there in the gym, man, these things are saving my life. And you just talking about slides just in general on a regular basis. You don't have to shout out the brands. You don't have to point them out. You're just building them up. And as you talk about, the reason why you don't talk about the brands is because you want to build them to you. You don't want to do this down here and build up the brand as you're growing. She's grown because of her. Like before these sponsorships were there, she had already 1.3, 1.2 million. And that was because of the USA trials and everything that happened around there. That had nothing to do with the sponsors. She wasn't sponsored by most of them. So therefore, she's her. And she's got the ability to build it up like that. So, getting back to this, again, comparing it to Sha'Carri Jackson, Sha'Carri Jackson has put the emphasis on the sponsors. So as soon as she's not with the sport anymore, unless she has a lifetime, agreement, these sponsors are gonna be like, yeah, what happens if they start dropping her? Let's say Scotiabank, Puma, Omega Athlete, and all of them, they drop her. Okay, now she's lost some of that revenue and she can't really necessarily replace it with something else because she wasn't building up her own brand to herself. She's building them up. Puma is featured very heavily on her page, right? And then here you kind of see Sprite and everything mixed in. You see other different things. It looked like Sprite is actually heavy on her page, but she's kind of mixing it in with the headphones, with what she's drinking, which technically speaking, that's bad for an athlete, but hey, it is what it is. With everything else, she's even mixing it in with just her working out, but they all look kind of natural, even though these are all ads right here. All this stuff is ad work. So with that being said, she makes it where it's there, whereas Sha'Carri is putting the emphasis on the sponsors and the brands. You don't want to do that when you're coming up and building your own brand. But anyway, I think that's what I'm doing now. From now on, if you guys like that, drop a comment or a flame in the chat and smash the like button and share this with other people. That will help me know that you guys like the business content that I will be putting out and mix it in. I'm going to be starting to do that from now on. I'm going to have memberships on the channel as well, because then throughout the year, when there isn't as much track and field information, we can still talk some business. We can still talk building up. And if you guys want to do that, that's where we're at. I do this already with other businesses and other people, so I may as well bring it here. I've always wanted to do it anyway, and I tried to mix it in before, but now I'm just going to go ahead full force. But guys, remember, you want to build up for your own brand. You don't want to build up for them. And the final thing here, the reason why it will be easier for you to make a lot of money in a short amount of time, imagine this. Where is this at? So I like Canva. Some of these Blackboard companies are just not good. So when it comes to this, let's say that you have a health and fitness course, because that makes sense. You got a health and fitness because you're in health and fitness. You got a health and fitness course. You're trying to get up to $100,000. And we're going to start with 1 year. All right. We're going to start with 1 year because that seems easier for people to comprehend. And plus, when you're learning, you may not have that ability to come out the gate. So let's say that you make $20 profit off of that. If my math is correct, I believe that's 5,000 that you got to have at 20. Yeah, I just had to double check in the calculator, just making sure. I deal with numbers all the time, so I did it in my head, but just in case. So you got to sell 20 of these, or $20 at 5,000. That's the profit, okay? So the course might actually be, let's say, $36 or $40. And then whatever platform you're using takes that and whatnot. But if you make this as a profit, that's what you do. All right? Now, if you flip the numbers just a little bit and you said this is 2, then this becomes 5. $50, then all you got to do is sell now 2,000. All right? If you change that to 50, oh, dang. If you change this to Am I not able to select? Okay, thank you. If you change this to 50, that looks like an S. This now becomes 2,000 that you have. Now, what if you wanted to sell it in a, you started to figure out, okay, every month I'm able to sell like 100 or so. All right, at bare minimum, no matter what. What if you just decided to add a 0 at the end of that? Okay, and you subtract the 0. Now you got 200 that you sell at $500. And that's the same thing. Now, how can you do something like that? Well, you could do something like that more easily when you're building a brand on you versus what you're selling. Because, for example, let's get to crypto real quick. If I'm advertising these things, what happened about FTX? Remember that scam thing that happened? For the people that know, FTX collapsed. And there were people that built their brands on it. Then they got lawsuits against them. Versus, hey, I'm making my money. And you know, these are obviously everybody has some fallout from that one. Still, even the ones that did this. But it was a lot less of an impact. Because if you have your own brand around you, then when something else falls or it collapses, those were just one of your partners. You got FTX, you got Binance, you got Coinbase, you got Kraken, you got all of these different things that you could have done. You got brand A, B, C, Snickers, Hershey's, all of these things. You got all of those to fall back on if it were candy. You got this course and that course that you may not have to make. You can partner up with somebody else. Okay? I'm letting y'all know. You don't have to make the course. Oh, yeah. This is the part where some people would pay at. But we all family here. So this is the part you would pay. Why does it keep selecting the freaking... It keeps selecting the eraser. Something's happening to my touch screen. I must have something on it. So let me try to clean this off real quick. Because I do have a spot here. Something must be on it. Or it's just not going well. Because it is selecting this eraser. Okay. With that being said, let's go back to here and let me refocus this. So, this is what you would do. I lost my thought. Guys, where was I just at? I was just saying something. I said something, this would be the part they pay. I said something just before that. That just distracted and threw me off completely. Oh, yeah, the course about not having for you to make it. You can make your health and fitness, or you could find somebody else to do it. So let's go right here. Let's go to who she's following. It's a very short list. Let's go here, short list. Okay. Okay, let's say that she is doing this. Let's say that Winnie is doing this real quick. Winnie Yavi. Okay? Let's say that she was making a course and you're like Sha'Carri. You could partner up and say, hey, if you make this course, I put it here, you go ahead, we're partnering up with this, you make the course, we're going to split the money here and there. That way you can focus on doing your branding. You found somebody that has a moderately okay size. She's got 100,000 compared to 3.1 million. Okay. That means with her, hey, she's like, look, let's just go ahead and build this up. This is a win-win scenario. However you want to do the split, you say, hey, or Yavi approaches Sha'Carri and say, look, I noticed, because this is most likely what will happen. You're smaller, you're approaching a bigger one. Hey, I noticed you got this. Let me make the course for you. Because there's two different ways you can do this. You could either make the course for somebody else, or they can make the course for you. But let's say that I'm sticking to the narrative that we had here, and you're not making the course. You got somebody else making the course, so therefore, or you use something like a ClickBank. Here's a course that's for 50. Here's another course that's for 200. And then you got a course for 1,000. And you're selling a combination of these. This is how you're going to make more money with this 1,000, or you're going to have one for 2,000. These two are going to be able to sell you the ones that are at $200 and a little bit at 50. There it is right there. I'm not going to go too much more under the detail right there. That's what I have for business today. But if you like what you just heard right there, smash the like button. Let's finish this off real quick. when it comes down to Melissa Jefferson, she's like that competitor that you see out there. She's working hard. She's technically sound. When it comes out to the business world, because that's what I'm going to wrap this up with. When it comes out to the business world, this is somebody that you are looking at that is a rival. She's doing things technically correct. She may not yet be at the level that you are at. Let's say that you're Sha'Carri and you're ahead, and there's, you know, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Your business, you know, may be a little bit sloppy or needs some work on some of what you get started with, or keeping with deadlines, right? Maybe that's what it is. You're a little bit late on deadlines. You say, hey, I'm going to do something on the 26th of June, and then it comes out on the 28th. But because it is so good, everybody is like, yo, we willing to pay and do the wait. Melissa Jefferson's right on there saying, hey, look, let me do everything I need to do. I'm sneaking up on you. All right? Let me do everything I need to do. I'm sneaking up on you. So just compare that from the business world. That's what we're looking at. So I'll catch you guys on another video going forward. And this has been Nick from Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And occasionally we do some business because we need to be economically empowered. I'll catch you guys on another stream. Peace.